Okay, picture this. You finally open Cricut Design Space and a blank screen just stares back at you. You see all these buttons and menus, and your mind just goes blank. Now what? If that's you, feeling totally frozen, completely overwhelmed, and maybe even thinking your brand new machine accidentally adopted the wrong human, I need you to take a deep breath. You're not frozen anymore. Today, you and I are going to tame this program together. We're going to go slow with absolutely zero judgment. I promise you're not struggling with something simple. Design Space is just a little quirky and it needs a friendly introduction. We're going to guide you through every single step. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hi, friend. I'm Maker Beginner Michelle from Kingman Crafting Creations. And yes, I put beginner right in my name for a reason, because I vividly remember the frustration of that very first blank canvas. I was so sure I had made a big mistake buying the machine because the software just felt so impossible. But I'm here to tell you it's really not. In our first video together, we had an introduction to the channel. In video 2, we unboxed our beautiful new Cricut, set it up, and made our very first practice cut. If you missed those, you can always go back and watch them later, but you'll be perfectly fine starting right here. Now, here in video 3, we are going to demystify the heart of the whole operation, Cricut Design Space. And I'll be using my shiny new Cricut Explorer 4 on the screen, but everything we cover today will apply to whatever machine you're using. My promise to you is that this is a no rush, no skips zone. Think of this as you and me sitting down with a warm cup of tea, and I'm just going to guide you and point at the screen. There are no dumb questions, and our only goal today is to build confidence. We are not even going to make a single cut. The only thing we're making today is progress. Are you feeling a little less scared already? If you are, do me a quick favor and hit that like button below. It tells YouTube that we're doing something helpful over here. And if you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button to join our cozy crew of crafters who believe in learning slow and having fun. We just take the pressure off and enjoy the process. Ready? Take one more deep breath and let's open up Design Space together. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds here to go ahead and fire up your Design Space app. Sometimes it can take a little while. It has to do some updates and I don't know what else, but sometimes it just takes a little bit, but it's not a problem. The first time you open Cricut Design Space, it can feel like landing in a foreign country without a map. But don't worry, I'm your friendly tour guide. When it first loads, you'll see this big busy page. This isn't our workspace yet. This is just the home screen. And yep, it's immediately throwing a bunch of stuff at you. But don't panic. Think of this less like a terrifying maze and more like the menu at your favorite craft store. It's just showing you all the possibilities, but you don't have to order everything at once. Let's break it down so it's not so intimidating. Let's start at the very top right of the screen. You'll see a little icon that looks like a person, which shows your name. If you click it, you'll see a drop-down menu. The first link is Profile, which takes you to where you can edit your profile and is one of the places you can see saved projects. Under that is Notifications, where Cricut will let you know about specials they are running, if Design Space needs an update, or any other important information. Right below that is the all-important settings gear icon. Let's give that a click. This is your command center for the software. On the General tab, you can verify your country and your language. You'll also see an option for saving your files offline. You can choose either cloud only or cloud and computer. I don't really have a recommendation on that one. But if you do save it to your computer and the cloud, You'll be able to view your projects offline. The application experience section lets you choose between beta or live. Beta gives you a sneak peek at features that Cricut is testing. But for anyone starting out, I highly recommend sticking to live as it's more stable. Under the Content tab, you can choose to hide or show mature content. The Machines tab is where you run a new product setup for cutters and heat presses, update firmware, run machine calibration for print and cut, and access machine care, which is for the Venture machine only. The custom material setting is where you can create a setting for material that isn't already loaded into the options on the Make screen. Then we have the Canvas tab, where you can change your grid view and switch your units of measure. The Load Type tab lets you set your default for each machine to use a mat or not. And finally, the Notifications tab to customize alerts, and the System tab shows your current operating data. For now, just know that's where you go to tweak things. Let's click out of that. Now, let's slide your eyes over to the top left. You'll see a main menu with a few options. The first one is Discover. This is where you are now. This is like Cricut's own little Pinterest board full of project ideas. It's great for inspiration later, but for now we can ignore that. Below that is My Stuff. This is going to be your new best friend. Think of it as your personal craft drawer. Every time you save a project, this is where it will live. Right now, yours is probably an empty craft drawer, and that is perfectly okay. Soon enough, it will be filled with your amazing creations. Next up, you'll see Cricut Access. This is Cricut's paid subscription service with a huge library of fonts and images. It's a fantastic service, but I'm a huge believer that you absolutely do not need it when you are starting out. You can do so much for free, and that's our focus for today. So for right now, we're going to skip right over this. Then there's the Heat Guide, a handy tool for iron-on projects. We are miles away from that right now, so we'll just wave at it as we walk by. And finally, there's Shop, which takes you to Cricut's online store. Now, let's look at the main part of the page, where you'll see big buttons for quick projects like vinyl decal or iron-on shirts. These are guided project flows, but we're going to learn how to do everything from scratch so you really understand what's happening. I know that was a lot for a screen we're not even going to work on, but I wanted you to know what all those distractions are so you can confidently ignore them. Out of everything on this page, there is only one button we truly care about right now. There's two spots you can find this. The first one is right here, and the second one is at the top, and it's our gateway to creativity. It's the big, beautiful blank canvas button, or in this case, new project. This is our playground. This is where the magic begins. Go ahead and click on New Project and then Blank Canvas. Ta-da! Welcome to your digital craft mat. This big white grid is the canvas, and it's where you'll design everything. It might look empty and intimidating, but I want you to see it as a clean slate, full of potential. This is your own creative sandbox, and the best part is you can't mess it up. Seriously, almost everything that you can do here can be undone, with a few exceptions like the weld tool, but we'll get into that at the next video. Now, whenever you open Design Space, for some reason, Cricut thinks you need to see these images. But for right now, we're going to just go ahead and click this little black arrow to shove it off to the side. Now look down at the bottom left of the canvas and you'll see a little zoom tool with a plus and minus sign. This lets us zoom into the tiny details or zoom out to see your whole project. It's incredibly helpful when you're trying to line things up perfectly. Let's turn our attention to the main toolbar running down the left-hand side of the screen. This is our primary toolkit. We're going to go through each one of these buttons so you know exactly what they do. At the very top is the New button. This is your reset button. If you're working on something and just want to start over with a fresh, clean canvas, you click this. Next is Projects. This is another way to get to your saved projects, just like the My Stuff button on your home screen. Now to the fun stuff. The next button down is Shapes. When you click this, a panel pops out with basic shapes: squares, circles, triangles, stars, a heart, and more. These are fundamental building blocks of so many designs. Underneath that is Images, your gateway to the massive Cricut library. When you click this, you can search for thousands of pre-made images, from simple icons to intricate designs. Next is Text. This one's pretty self-explanatory. When you click this, a text box appears, ready for you to type the words and names. Below text, you will see Monogram. This is a neat tool for creating those fancy intertwined initials, but please note that this is a Cricut Access feature only. Then comes Layouts. This feature is actually really cool for beginners. It lets you pull up a template like the outline of a t-shirt or a tote bag to help you visualize how big your design should be. It's like a ghost outline that doesn't get cut, just a sizing buddy. Next is Upload. This is one of the most powerful features in Design Space. This button allows you to import your own images. We'll dive into this one in just a bit. And finally, you will see Create AI. This is a very new feature where you can type a description and the computer will try to generate an image for you. This is also a Cricut Access feature, and we want to master the basics first. And that's it. That's the grand tour of the left side menu. Not so scary when you break it down, right? And it's just a handful of buttons that let you add things to your canvas. Now let's stop talking and start doing. Okay, ready to stop looking at the blank canvas screen? Let's make something happen with the simplest, most friendly tool in our entire toolkit, the Shapes tool. Let's go over to that left-hand menu and give the Shapes icon a click. When that panel slides out, find the heart shape and click on it once. Poof! A heart appears on your canvas. Now, so we can see our full canvas, click the tiny black arrow on the pop-out panel to close it. This is a newer feature, and frankly, many crafters are not happy with it because it takes up quite a bit of the screen and you have to keep closing it. Now let's add another shape. Go back to the Shapes tool and click on the square. A square appears and it partially covers the heart. Let's close that pop-out panel again by clicking the tiny black arrow. The square should be selected, and you can tell because it has a blue box around it with little handles. This is a bounding box. To select the heart instead, move your mouse over to the heart and click on it. Now the blue box is around the heart. Click back on the square to select it again. Let's change the size. With the square selected, look up at the top toolbar. You'll see this section here with boxes for the width and height. In the middle is a little lock icon. When it's locked, it keeps the proportions. Go to the width box and type the number 4 and hit enter. See, the height automatically changed to 4 inches, as well as keeping it a perfect square. And look, let's find the most important button in the entire program. If you look at the very top left of the screen, you will now see 2 little arrows. The one curving backwards is undo, and it is your magic eraser. If you click something, and your project doesn't look right, just calmly click Undo. Next to it is the Redo button in case you undo something you actually liked. Make friends with that Undo button. It will save you so much frustration. Now let's go back to the square and change its boring gray color. With the square selected, look for the small color box on the top toolbar. Click on it and a color palette will fly out. Let's make it purple and poof, your square is now purple. Great. My heart is hiding behind my square. If yours is too, let's fix that. Click on the heart to select it and let's drag it away from the square so you can fully see both shapes. Now let's give the heart the same treatment. With the heart selected, let's go up to the size editor and make the width 3.5 inches. With the heart selected, let's go up to the size editor and make the width 3.5 inches. Type 3.5 in the width box and hit enter. Why is that not working? Okay, let's go undo. With the heart selected, let's go up to the size editor and make the width 3.5 inches. Type 3.5 into the box and press enter. The heart resizes. Now let's give it a pretty color. Click on the color swatch again, and this time pick a nice pink color. Okay, you're doing amazing. You've added resized and colored shapes. Now let's arrange them. Drag the heart so it's roughly over the middle of the square. To fix the layering, we need to tell Design Space which shape should be on the top. With the heart selected, go to the top toolbar and find the button that says Arrange. Click it and a drop-down menu will appear. Since we want the heart on top, click Send to Front. And there it is. Our beautiful heart is now sitting proudly on the purple square. You could have also selected the square and chosen Send to Back. Same result. Now, for a little trick that will make you feel like a total pro, is the heart perfectly centered? I used to spend ages trying to eyeball this. There's a magic button for this. We need to select both shapes at once. You can do this by clicking a blank part of the canvas, holding your mouse down, and dragging a box around both shapes. Or click the heart and then hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and click the square. With both selected, go back up to the top toolbar and look for the Align button. Click it. You'll see options to align objects left, right, top, bottom, or in the center. First, click Center horizontally. The heart jumps into the horizontal middle. Now go back to the Align menu and click Center vertically. Bam! The heart is now perfectly flawlessly centered on the square. No guesswork needed. To achieve the same result with two objects, you can also just select Center from the Align menu. But be careful. If you have 3 or more items selected that you want in a row, clicking Center will stack them all right in the middle, which might not be what you want. Look at that! You're resizing, coloring, layering, and aligning with precision. You are a designer. Let that sink in. All right, we have mastered shapes. Now let's move on to the next essential building block, words. Adding text is one of the most common things you'll do. Find the text icon over in our trusty left side toolbar, the one with the T. Let's give that a click. A text box appears on your canvas with the word text highlighted. Let's type a name. I'll type Michelle. Go ahead and type your name. Now, it's important to know that pressing Enter on your keyboard will just create a new line to type on. To finish editing, you'll just need to click somewhere off the text box. box. Once you're done, your word is now an object, just like our shapes. Now let's give this font some personality. Click on your name to select it, then look up at the top toolbar and look for where it says Cricut Sans and click on that. A big panel slides out. This is your font library. You'll see filters up at the top for Cricut fonts, system fonts, recent fonts, and bookmarked fonts. The system fonts are the ones that are already on your computer. Now let's work with the free ones. At the top, click the filter icon and check for the box that says free. Now you can scroll through all the free fonts that are offered. Go ahead and click anywhere off the filters panel to make it disappear. And you can scroll through all the free fonts Cricut offers. I'm going to search for a font I like, and forgive me if I mispronounce this one, Mochi Pop 1. But you can pick any font that makes you happy. As long as your text is highlighted on the canvas, you should see a live preview of each font as you scroll through the list. In addition, you can click on them and you can also see the font change on your canvas. Find one you like and click it, then close the font panel on the left. Great, the font is updated, but it's a little big. Just like our shapes, we can resize it using the font size box up in the top toolbar. Let's try typing in 36 and hitting enter. That looks like a pretty good size to me. Just like with shapes, you can also resize it by clicking and dragging the corner of the bounding box in or out, just like this. But I think I like it at 36, so I'm going to go back and hit undo. Here's a really cool trick. What if you wanted your Cricut to write the name with a pen instead of cutting it? This is where the operation menu comes in. Up in the top toolbar, it currently says Basic Cut. Click on that. You'll see a whole menu of possibilities. Let's choose pen. Now look at your text. It's changed from a solid outline. Machine, don't cut this, draw it. To change the pen color, click the square color box right here next to the operation menu. Under the fine point pen, I am going to select blue and then click off of it. Now let's use the skills we already learned. Drag your name over the heart. It may be a little off center, so let's fix that. We already have our name highlighted, so let's hold down our shift key and click the heart. Go up to our friend the align tool and choose center horizontally. Perfect. You can even use the arrow keys on your keyboard to gently nudge the name up or down. Except right now, since I have both the heart and our text selected, it's moving everything. So I'm just going to undo all those little shifts that I made. And perfect. Now I'm going to select just my name and I'm going to use my up arrow and down arrow and my right arrow and my left arrow until I get it perfectly where I want it. And here's a pro tip. Look over at the right side of your screen. You'll see a panel with a list of everything on your canvas. The square, the heart, and the text. This is called the layers panel, and it's like an x-ray of your project. You can tell which items are selected on your canvas because the corresponding line in the layers panel will turn green. You have now created a multi-layered design with shapes and custom text. You've changed the font, size, operation, and aligned it perfectly. You are absolutely crushing this. Before we bring in an image from the Cricut library, let's look at a few more powerful tools right here in the Layers panel. At the top of the panel, you'll see a few small icons. Group allows you to select objects together so you can move and resize them as one unit. I'm going to show you how the group works. So I'm going to hold down my shift key with my text already selected and select the heart and the square and hit the group button. Now, when I move it around my screen, they are all connected. I love how that works. I'm going to move it over here out of the way a little bit. And then we have duplicate. Duplicate makes an exact copy of whatever you have selected. So if I press that button, we now have two of the exact same pieces. And with a group, you'll see if you select the little arrow key, it'll drop down and tell you the items that are within that grouping. I'm going to go ahead and delete our second image. I just need one on my screen for now. And then there's the little trash can icon, which is delete. At the very bottom of your layers panel, you'll see a color swatch next to the word background color. If you click that, you can change the background color of your canvas. This is super helpful for visualizing projects. Like if you're making a white decal and want to see it against a dark background. It's just for looks. It doesn't affect the colors you cut. So I'm going to go ahead and just for the fun of it, I'm going to change my background color to yellow so you can see what it does. You can change your background color to whichever color you want. Actually, I think I might stick with the light gray on this one. Okay, now for one of the most exciting features, uploading your own images. Let's go back to the left-hand toolbar and click Upload. Now is a great time to find an image you have saved on your computer. It could be a favorite photo, a business logo, or even a simple image you found on Google that you like. Go ahead and find one to practice with. I'm going to upload my business logo, which is a PNG file. So you go to Upload Image, and I'm going to go to Browse and find my location. Nope, this one. And I'm going to double click it to open it. Now you can also open your file folder and click and drag it over to your space if you'd prefer to do it that way. Now I have my image up on my screen and I'm going to hit continue. This brings you to the cleanup screen. Here you can remove parts of the image you don't want. The remove background feature is amazing, but it's a Cricut Access perk. You can also manually remove the background by selecting the wand tool down here. The wand tool is selected right here, and then clicking on the areas that you want to erase. Once you're happy, click Apply and Continue. Next, you have to choose an upload type. You'll see a few options. Since we're using a full color image and want to keep it exactly as is, for a print and cut project, we're going to choose the flat graphic option. The other options are for turning images into multicolored cut files, which can be a bit more advanced and requires a Cricut Access subscription. I just want to point out that the multiple layers, you can see if you compare that with my flat graphic, it's missing some of the design. That is because I brought my file in as a PNG, and to see them on the screen, you have to bring it in as an SVG file. Next to that, we have the single layer, and as you can see, it's all black. What it's doing is because it is multicolors, it's turning it all one color, which is black. In order to do a single layer, you need to have one single color. So I'm going to go back to flat graphic and select continue. On the final screen, you can give your image a name that will be easy to remember and search for later. You can also add tags, which are keywords to help you find it. You can also add to collection. Collections are like file folders to organize your uploads. For example, you could have a Christmas collection for all your holiday images. Cricut Access members get unlimited collections, while free users are limited to 5. When you're done, click Upload. Yours probably won't take quite as long as mine. Mine is set as a very, very large image. As you can see, it's set at 45.648 inches. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 8 inches so it fits better on the screen. There we go. Okay, and just like that, your own image. Up here we have the width, and it's in the locked position. That means that all my proportions are going to stay exactly as they were when I brought them in. Now remember, you can click the little box down here and bring it in or bring it out depending on which size you want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and close this menu over here. And I'm going to go ahead and move this logo again out of the way over here because we're going to bring in something else. Okay, team, you're on a roll. You've made a design from scratch and even uploaded your own graphic. Now let's add one more design using a template and a ready-made image from the Cricut library. First, head to the left side toolbar to Layouts. You'll see options for all sorts of products. Let's add a t-shirt and then select the adult large. That is now added to our canvas. Remember that this template is only a visual guide on your screen to help with sizing and placement. It does not get cut with your design. Notice how the canvas zoomed way out to fit the whole shirt? That's because my image that I brought in was very, very large, and it's bringing this t-shirt thing in super huge. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 12. I'm going to go ahead and select my two designs that I've previously made and move them out of the way so we can look at our project. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in, not in that area. And I'm going to scroll my screen back over to the right. I think I'm going to go back to 100. And for some reason, I think because I have my items selected, it's choosing to remain on that part of the screen. I'm going to scroll back over to the left and up to the top. And there we have our template. Now let's find an image. Head back to the left side toolbar and find the image button. Give this a click. This opens a new screen, which is a giant catalog. Let's type Cricut Cutie into the search bar and press enter. The Cricut Cutie is the adorable little Cricut mascot. After you search, you'll see a bunch of results. Here is the most important tip for using the image library as a beginner. We want the free stuff. Look over to the right side of the screen for a filter option. Click it and then check the free box. To get out of this, we're just going to click anywhere off of it within the panel. But if you were to click out of it in the search bar, it would still keep on trying to search for you. So I clicked outside of that part. Now scroll through the free options and find a Cricut Cutie you like. Click on the image and it will be added directly to your canvas. If you want to save an image for later, you can click the three dots down in the bottom corner, then go over to the new open box and press the little bookmark icon in the corner. Once you've clicked on the cutie, you want to close the pop-out window on the left. Because our t-shirt layout made the canvas zoom out, the image is very small. Now I've already fixed the zoom issue, so if you didn't, this is where you would fix the zoom and moving things around back on your canvas to make things fit your screen. Now we're going to drag the Cricut Cutie over onto your t-shirt template. So I'm going to select it and move it. As you can see, my Cricut Cutie is too big for my shirt. I'm going to grab up here in this little corner and drag it to make it smaller. And then you can drag it over to where it best fits within that square. Unfortunately, the align tool does not work because it would consider this whole layout as something to align it with rather than within this box. Because as you can see, I'm going to move the Cricut Cutie out of the way. You can see there's also a spot for a chest logo. And then on the back side of the shirt, there's a spot for another logo as well. So I'm going to move my Cricut Cutie back up there and just eyeball it as best as I can. You want to fill up the rectangular guide area in the middle of the shirt as best as you can. Obviously, it's not going to fit quite side to side, but it's about close. Boom! Adorable! You've just pulled a professional looking graphic into your project and placed it on a template for perfect sizing. This skill of searching, filtering for free images, and using layout is fundamental. Great job. To find my two images, I'm going to select both and we're going to move them apparently very slowly. To make this faster, I'm going to zoom out a bit so I'm able to see my whole screen. And I'm going to move these back over. We'll move them right there. And I'm going to zoom back in so I'm able to see all my images. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and move these right up here for better view. Take a step back and just look at your screen. That canvas that was so empty and intimidating is now filled with 3 designs that you made. Well, today was to tame the program, to turn that feeling of being overwhelmed into confidence. Look at you. You're a design space tamer. You clicked the buttons, explored the menus, and you made it through. My biggest piece of advice now is just to play. Open a new blank canvas and practice what we did today. Make a square and a circle. Type your pet's name. Find a free image of a star. There is no pressure to make a masterpiece. The more you click around in this digital sandbox, the more comfortable you will become. Every click builds your muscle memory and your confidence. You did it. You took the first, most important step. I am so proud of you. If this video helped you feel even a little more confident today, please give it a thumbs up below. It really helps our cozy little community grow. And if you want to continue this journey with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss what's next. In our next video, we're going to tackle some of the most powerful tools in Design Space, like Weld, Slice, and Attach. These are tools that unlock some of the real design magic, and we'll approach them together, one slow step at a time. Do you have any questions about what we covered today? Or is there one part of Design Space that still feels a little bit scary? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I truly love helping you out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. See you next Friday, friend.